Hello, everybody, and welcome to the pilot episode of my brand new podcast, Dropping the Hammer Unfiltered. If you guys remember, if you followed my Instagram or my YouTube before, I had an unofficial podcast in the off season where I didn't have a name, and I kind of just talked about some random stuff, but I wanted to take a new chapter in my NASCAR content creation career, and that is getting an official podcast where every week we talk about the race that just happened, looking ahead to the following race. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about Atlanta, some other exciting things that happened, as well as look ahead to the road course races next week. We have COTA and we have St. Petersburg for the truck series. So let's dive right into it and let's talk about, the chaos of EchoPark Speedway. I didn't call it Atlanta. I still, to this day, will call it Atlanta, but for the sake of being professional, I will call it EchoPark Speedway. Who knows? Maybe NASCAR's listening. Anyways, let's talk about that truck series race first. And, Kyle Busch goes on and wins it. And it continues a streak of winning a race every year in the top three series. I mean, the Cup streak is dead. That's long gone. I don't know if he'll ever get back to victory lane. But the truck race, he wins it. A little bit of controversy for the truck race, and I'm going to give my opinion on it, and hopefully you guys understand where I'm coming from, and I'd love to hear your guys' opinion about this. So, truck race was rather boring. I mean, through the first two stages, we didn't really have much happening. I mean, there was kind of single file, nothing crazy. The last couple laps of the stages, guys tried to get runs and do some stuff, and Carson Hocevar was exciting like he always is. Ends up pushing Kyle Busch to the win, but it wasn't the full race length, and the reason why was because there was rain, obviously. Everybody knows there was rain Saturday. So NASCAR, in their wisdom, said, okay, we're going to fit this race in, and we know we can't get it all in, but we're going to do it anyways. So they said when we get to the certain time, whatever time, I think it was like 4:20 or 4:19, when that time hits, we are going to wave the white flag on that lap, and then the next time by, checkers, and there's a winner. So the racing, up until that point, was lackluster. Then when they knew that they were getting within, I think when it was like 4:14, everybody went for it. I mean, you had Stuart Friesen, Kyle Busch, Carson Hocevar, Ben Rhodes, who was 2 laps down or a lap down because he cut a tire, who led most of the race. I mean, he almost had a shot to come back and win. I would have loved to have seen, just like a lot of you, how that last 10 laps or however many laps would have played out because they were going for it. I mean, truck races at Atlanta in years prior was just single file, wait for the slingshot, back up to somebody, and then pass them in turn 1 and 2, and then you go on and win the race because nobody else make a run. No, these guys were 2 wide, 3 wide. I mean, it was intense, and we didn't get to see it, but it was still a good finish. But my opinion on this whole thing is simple. I understand that it's 2 media companies. Fox has the trucks. CW now has the O'Reilly, okay? So obviously the O'Reilly, who's a different company, and it's their TV slot, isn't going to say, all right, we're pushing it back. No, they have the right to say we're sticking to 5 o'clock. My concern, or my biggest gripe with it all, is the fact that then with Fox, they could have, well, not Fox, but necessarily NASCAR, don't skip the pre-race ceremonies. I mean, the national anthem is important and all that, and the prayer. But, I don't even know if they did driver intros, pace laps, shorten the pace laps up. There was opportunity there. I mean, it's a couple minutes. I mean, it's only 30-second laps at Atlanta. I mean, we needed 5 more minutes. Or just let the 5 more minutes go, because in 5 minutes, what happened in between, in a 50-minute span from when the truck race ended to when the O'Reilly race started? In 5 minutes, you couldn't find something to either waste or not do. I mean, you didn't even have to announce the full friggin' field for the O'Reilly race. I mean, you could announce the top guys and then, the also-rans. I don't care why Cody Ware, Carson Ware is running, getting introduced. They get booed anyways, or they don't even get anybody to cheer. I mean, all the guys in the back of the pack, yeah, it's cool for them to walk out on stage, but who cares, man? I want to see some racing. But obviously you can't do that because, that's just me being a fan and wanting the full race in. But yeah, that was silly, and people were up in arms about it, but they were up in arms because they don't understand. I understand, and it's simply because the CW is not going to move their time slot back. There was an argument to be made that, hey, the truck race, if we're not going to get it all in, let's run it after the O'Reilly, but I get that because I think there's some seeding games for March Madness, or there were some college basketball games on, and, that kind of takes precedent over truck racing, the third tier racing in NASCAR. But it was cool. I think the truck race was up in viewership. The Xfinity race was up in viewership. The O'Reilly race was up in viewership. And I'm kind of getting ahead of myself with the O'Reilly, but I guess we can jump in to the O'Reilly stories from Atlanta. And I mean, the racing as a whole was incredible. I mean, usually Atlanta races is like, oh, drop the green flag, single file. Oh, Austin Hill wins again. Nobody can get by RCR. But this race had RCR up there, but also had some players. You had JRM up there. You had Parker Retzlaff in the 99. I mean, you had some guys, Rajah Caruth in the 88. I mean, you had some comers and goers in this race. It was like a Gen 4 super speedway race. I mean, that's what we're going to start to see with Xfinity. But the main thing, I mean, I don't want to go into the next thing. I want to finish talking about Rajah Caruth. I mean, he's got some incredible car control. I mean, there were 2 or 3 times that thing should have been wrecked, and he saved it. I was watching it, and I was screaming. I was watching it alone. I was jumping out of my seat. I couldn't believe it. So it was a great race. I mean, the O'Reilly will always put on a better race than the next gen Cup car. Always will put on a better race. Maybe Atlanta's Cup race was good, but I feel like if this is how the O'Reilly races will be from now on at Atlanta, then that's the best series to watch for pure racing. Not this sports car, fake Gen 7, Steve Phelps voodoo shit that whatever he came up with. We're going to bring in a new manufacturer. Yeah, he's in the sport good now. But, the big story was Sheldon Creed, after 15 runner-up finishes, finally breaks through for his first O'Reilly Parts win, and in an exciting finish. I mean, we had Austin Hill leading, and I didn't care who won that friggin' race. I just didn't want Austin Hill to win again. So we talk about Sheldon Creed winning, and it was just so cool to see him win. He was freaking out, and the booth call for it was amazing. Parker, Jamie, and Adam Alexander. Fantastic. I mean, that's the energy that we need, and that's the energy that the Fox booth and both the truck and the Cup don't really bring. But then Austin Hill, he makes a late block into turn 3, and there was space to put Ross Chastain to put his car in there, and he had a run. I mean, that 00 was on his back bumper. I mean, he is going for that. That 9 times out of 10, or 10 times out of 10 with Ross. And Austin Hill would do the same. And then Austin Hill bitched and moaned about it, and he said that it was whatever the move was, and he has to expect that when racing Ross Chastain. I wonder what Eric Almirola has to say about how Austin Hill races. I wonder what Michael McDowell has to say about how Austin Hill races. Remember back when he hooked the 19 into the fence and then drove the 17 into the guardrail, or not, was it 17 or was it the 07? It was Michael McDowell's Xfinity car last year. Drove it into the guardrail. Yeah, Austin Hill. You know exactly what you're talking about with clean racing. I mean, and I mean, he always, I mean, Sheldon Creed at Martinsville in 2023 or 2022, he tried to wreck the guy to make the championship 4. If they both finished 1-2, they would have made the championship. But he doesn't think that. He's just thinking about I can't say what I want to say, but Anyways, so Austin Hill complains like usual, but the one other big thing of the race was we got to talk about Corey Day. I mean, Corey Day is like a dart without feathers. I mean, he don't know what he's doing out there. He came back, he finished 4th. I don't know how. I think it's because he crashed majority of the field. Lap 3 of the race, he's trying to make it 3 wide. Wrecks Ryan Sieg and a handful of other cars. Actually wrecks both Sieg cars, the double down just to make sure. Small team too, that's what sucks. And Ryan Sieg runs well at the drafting track, so would have been cool to see what he could do. And then supposedly he had a tire going down, even though they didn't show any sparks or anything on TV. But he goes in and he crashes JRM car and crashes couple more cars, and maybe if he didn't crash those cars he would have finished 14th instead of 4, but taking out those 10 guaranteed him that top 5. But he's just a rich kid who just doesn't have it down yet, and sprint cars, say whatever you want, but not everybody who comes into this, they get the Larson praise, and then they're going to be the next big thing, the next sliced bread. Only Mark Martin can coin that for Joey Logano. Can't coin that for anybody else. I mean, it is incredible to see the kids that come up in this series with just no idea or sense of like what a race is. They're just all trying to get to the front. I mean, it's a race. There's 200 laps. There's 300 laps. I mean, take your time, work your way through. That's why Kevin Harvick, the closer, was able to win the races that he did. Greg Biffle, in the Busch series. I mean, Junior working his way up. They were a lot of guys. Yeah, they made some bonehead moves, but they still knew that it's a race. We got to finish in one piece, and we can't make people mad, along the way. But he still came back and finished fourth, so maybe he knows more than I do. I'm just making a video. He's the one behind the wheel. But we all see it. He won't win a race. He won't win a race. If he wins a race, then 35 out of 36 cars have to wreck. You know what? 36 out of 36 cars would wreck. He would come back on the track, and somehow he'd finish the only car on the track, and he would win. That's the only way Corey Day would win a race. But that's kind of all the exciting stuff that happened in the O'Reilly series. Almost said Xfinity. I'm just going to call it the Busch series. I still call it that. Just like Atlanta, or EchoPark is still Atlanta. Then we move on to Cup, and Tyler Reddick goes back-to-back in an exciting finish. I mean, the racing was pretty good. You had a lot of comers and goers. You had RFK up there. You had Penske. You had Hendrick. You really had a little bit of everybody. And the big thing, obviously, was, Carson Hocevar, and we have a separate box here for Carson Hocevar, so we won't get too much into it, but I'll tell you what, man, he wants to win. That's all I'll say about that. Him and Christopher Bell, that move that was there. Was there a hole? Was there not? I mean, it was there, and then like they said, and then it wasn't. So, I don't know. You just got to know that hole is going to close up, but fans like him. I don't like or dislike him. I don't think he's the next Dale Earnhardt. He, he's not the Intimidante. He is, that's a Chili's reference for those that don't know that. But, he's gotta make some friends. I mean, stop making enemies because he's pissed off half the field at this point. It reminds you of 2022 Ross Chastain, except Ross Chastain won a race early into the year. So actually won 2 races early into the year. But, I mean, he's just aggressive. He just wants to win. I think he just wants to win. And when he does win, it's going to be a hell of a celebration. I'll tell you that. I mean, he might wreck the car into the grandstands to win. I mean, it's something with him. It's exciting. Don't get me wrong. It's exciting. I'm just hoping that it doesn't come around where it's my favorite driver that's on the receiving end of it, because my favorite driver was on the receiving end of it when it was Ross in 2022. You guys can figure who that is. But another thing, too, we always talk about Kyle Larson and him, either he DNFs or he wins. I mean, and this is a classic example of why. I mean, because I don't know what the hell he was thinking coming from the top of the fourth turn on the last lap of the stage. All he had to do was stay up high. They were coming to the checkered flag of the stage, I believe. I mean, it was over. Yeah, it was over because Bubba or Byron, they were side by side. So he slingshots down. I don't even think he would have made a pass. I think there was just them two side by side, and he just came down. He still would have been third in line or fourth in line, and he wipes out, crashes, takes out SVG. Luckily, SVG came back to finish in the top 10. Great run for him, his best oval finish. But that's what we mean when Kyle Larson, I mean, he just either wrecks or wins, and he is known for these stupid moves. I mean, think about Indy a couple years ago. They say, oh, it was brake failure. No, it wasn't. They came out, they said it wasn't brake failure. Same thing here. Oh, the steering fluid. Oh, I hit an oil slick and I spun. Yeah, no, you wrecked yourself. And he took accountability for it, but it's just funny to see that. Like, it's just such a meme at this point. And then Bubba Wallace, he makes the wrong decision. Where am I going to go on this last lap? He had Carson Hocevar on the fresh tires. He thought to block high. Hocevar went to the middle. He's hungry for a win. Didn't stay with Reddick on the bottom. And then after that, Hocevar, they kind of were side by side, and Tyler Reddick had the help of Chase Briscoe, the Toyota teammate, and then that's what ultimately led to Tyler Reddick winning the race. But coming to the white flag, or in the white flag, going into turn 1, Hocevar was in the middle. Bubba had a hell of a run on the outside, and Hocevar just turned right and put the 23 in the wall. I don't know if anybody caught that. But it's just like, that's the type of moves that it's like, what are we doing, man? Like, you're going 5 to 10 mile an hour slower. Like, I kind of wish Bubba hit him square in the bumper just to send him through the infield grass and see what would have happened. Maybe it would have been more chaos. Great for the TV promos for the fall or the summer race. I mean, a big crash on the last lap, you can't beat that. 2 races in a row. Now that would have been something. Tyler Reddick wins 2 races in a row while the rest of the field crashes coming to the finish. But that's basically everything we have to talk about with the race recap. I mean, it was an exciting weekend. Atlanta is one of the best tracks with these cars. I think if I were to rank the races, I would say O'Reilly is number 1. I would say Cup number 2. And then I would say Trucks is number 3. But let's move on. And I want to talk about this because a lot of people were very upset when NASCAR, and it's a shock to me, is when NASCAR decided they're going to get rid of these playoffs. And everybody wanted the playoffs gone because they wanted a legitimate champion in the sport. I mean, we don't want Joey Logano to run around 20th every week, win a race in the round of 8, and then, wow, he's a champion for the 4th or 5th time. I don't even remember. He's a 0-time champion in my mind, but, people argue with that. Mostly Logano fans, but you know how that is. But I'll tell you what, through the first 2 races with the chase, I mean, you still see intense racing in these races. I mean, Daytona 500, we were 3 wide at one point, coming to the white flag. You had drivers that wanted to win. Granted, it's the Daytona 500, so it's a little different. And then even with Atlanta, I mean, it's the same thing. You have Carson Hocevar, who's going for a win. Not for the playoff sake, but to win. And you have, like, even in the, Xfinity, even in the O'Reilly, like you have, or the truck, like you have these guys that are still going to win. So I don't think without the playoffs, it's going to be a problem with the quality of racing. Yeah, there's going to be guys like, I think Chandler Smith, when a post-race interview said, well, we had enough points, we had the points lead, so we backed out of it. Still, though, that's Chandler Smith. That's not 35 other truck drivers who are trying to win on the last lap. Well, it wasn't the last lap, the last minute of the race. But yeah, like I just don't I think without the playoffs, it's not going to be a problem. I think everybody who was upset that the playoffs were gone because of that Game 7 moment, shout out Mamba Smith, you're probably the only one, and maybe like some other guys, but mostly it was the media people. Jordan Bianchi, I think, those weirdos, they all get together and they do like a little ritual or something, I think, to, whatever. But yeah, they were the ones that are like, oh, the race is going to be so bad. I mean, people are going to sandbag this and that. No, this racing has been phenomenal. I'm excited to see how COTA plays out. I mean, really, it's going to be interesting. I just think this is going to be one of the best years for racing. And I think at the end of it all, we're going to crown a legitimate champion. I mean, maybe with the chase, not as legitimate because the certain amount of drivers get in, but in the sense, they still will have that head start that won't reset, and it'll go to their favor. Like the rounds won't reset. So yeah, no playoffs, no problem. Okay. We're in for a great year of racing. Now, my next topic. Hurricane Hocevar. Lee Diffie coined it at Iowa last year, early into the race. And I remember hearing it, and it stuck with me ever since, because whenever Carson Hocevar is around, there is for sure going to be destruction or chaos. And it's not a Category 1. It's like a Category 5 hurricane. What do they call those in Japan? I can't remember the name. Somebody comment that. A typhoon. I think maybe that's the name. I mean, he is just somebody that is out of control. And I'll tell you what. I said it before. I do enjoy it just when it's not at the expense of my driver. So far, it hasn't. I mean, but he does make these races exciting, and he doesn't care to make friends. He just wants to win. I mean, he was making a plan, quoting Talladega Nights. I mean, next week he'll probably quote Days of Thunder, driving through the big one that he causes. But this kid just wants to win. And, I mean, whenever he's near somebody, I mean, when there's a couple laps to go, even if it's for 15th place, keep the cameras on him, because if you want to see some rubbing and racing, that is the driver to root for. And I'll tell you what, he's going to get a lot of fans into the sport, and maybe resurrect a couple old fans that might have got out of it where they, drivers didn't have a personality. Kind of how 2022 Ross was, and people were like, oh, like, he reminds me of Earnhardt. There's never going to be another Earnhardt. I mean, there's going to be a Carson Hocevar. There's going to be a Ross Chastain. Earnhardt was Earnhardt. Earnhardt was a winner up to this point in his career at the same time these guys are. I mean, like, he was competitive, and he was somebody who came from the grassroots of the sport. Ross kind of did too. He was the watermelon farmer. But Carson kind of won a couple truck races, then took out Corey Heim in the championship, then got himself taken out by Corey Heim, then didn't do any O'Reilly or Xfinity full time, and then bumped up to Cup in Spire. So it's just interesting to kind of follow this whole thing, because I feel like if he maybe had some O'Reilly and Xfinity races, he would have won a few, maybe had a chance for a championship, but he's been Cup ready. I mean, Michigan last year, he was in contention to win and had a flat tire. I mean, the Coca-Cola 600, the car blew up. So he's been there. He's been in position. He was in position at Daytona. He was in position at EchoPark Speedway. Don't know if he'll be in contention at COTA, but clearly then when we move to these 1.5 miles, he's shown the speed and he's shown it. He's just got to make sure he doesn't make so many enemies. There's only so many drivers until you run out of people that you can't make enemies with, because everybody's an enemy. I mean, I'm waiting maybe to see what happens with them, Daniel Suarez and Michael McDowell. But no, he's exciting to watch, and it definitely makes me laugh. Although I still think the etiquette might not all be there. It's a driver that is willing to do anything it takes to win a race, and I think that for the sake of the sport to be exciting and to get into media outlets to make highlights, I think that's what we need. But that's kind of my take on Hurricane there. Plus, I saw his new paint scheme, and it is kind of cool. It's the black Chili's car, and it kind of looks like Earnhardt's car. That's the joke they're going with, that it's the black and white. Kind of reminds you when, Kyle Petty got a penalty, and he got a penalty for racing aggressively, like a 5-lap penalty, and then they showed up to Dover the next week, and it was the Silver Bullet, or it was the Coors Light car. I can't remember what his sponsor was, but they basically made it black and white to look like the Intimidator's car because they were protesting how Dale gets away with it. So it is kind of cool to see a play on a paint scheme like that again. But yeah, that's all I have to say about Hurricane. Now we get to move into my awards. I don't have official awards yet. I don't have props. I'm not Jimmy Spencer. I don't want to copy him. I mean, I would love the Crying Tower right now because Austin Hill would win that. I mean, because of how he acted after the race was over, how he got raced, even though he does the same thing. But, we're going to give away the Bonehead of the Week, the winner of the week, and then really the big loser of the week. And that's for now. And then as I kind of come up with some better names, then we'll do some more. So we have 3 for this week. And the Bonehead move of the week, I mean, you have a lot of, nominations. I mean, everybody can be a nomination, right? I mean, in racing, everybody's a bonehead at one point or another during the race. So we have Kyle Larson for his move coming to the end of stage 2. We have Corey Day for piling up a bunch of cars, even though he came back finished 4th. I'm going to go more of the lap 3 incident. And then we also have Joey Logano, Denny Hamlin, and William Byron for some reason cutting a tire and cutting across in front of everybody and causing a big crash. But I'm giving my first Bonehead move of the week to Corey Day for his lap 3 incident with Ryan Sieg. It's lap 3, man. Just get through the race, get single file, and then make your moves. I mean, what are we doing here? I mean, we're taking guys out where that's the family-owned team. Like, he doesn't realize that because, he's a rich kid that's gotten everything handed to him. But Corey Day wins Bonehead of the Week. And if you guys could guess who the winner of the week is going to be, it's pretty simple. Of course, it's going to be Tyler right now. I'm kidding. The winner of the week is going to be Sheldon Creed. I mean, he gets his first O'Reilly Parts Series win. That is hands down. 15 runner-ups, finally gets it done. I think we're about to see Sheldon Creed go on a tear. And it's funny how for RCR, for JGR, the guy was a truck champion, got sent to the side by all these teams, and then is with Haas Factory now in the 00 and goes on and captures his first win. And the loser of the week, you guys can probably guess, and it is Bubba Wallace. And Bubba Wallace is not a loser. I don't hate Bubba Wallace, but unfortunately for Bubba, you just gotta pick the right lane and the right move, and he should have stuck with his Toyota 2311 teammate. And that's what happened. He gave Hurricane an opportunity to pounce, and Hurricane pounced and left nothing behind, and Bubba Wallace gets swallowed up and, had a race slip away yet again. What could have been for Bubba Wallace. But those are my 3 awards for this week. Now I kind of want to look ahead to next week. So we have some exciting stuff. We have the trucks in St. Petersburg. They're going to be doing the street race down there. I think it's going to be interesting to see because a street course with trucks is kind of something that we've really haven't seen yet, I don't believe, unless I'm mistaken, way back in the day. But they didn't run Chicago. I can't think of another one. But That's going to be interesting because the trucks are heavy and bulky and they turn weird. And I feel like with tight quarters, I'm going to put a bold prediction out there right now that at some point the track's going to get clogged and somebody's going on top of somebody's deck lid. I mean, maybe not a flip, but somebody's driving over somebody. Like there's going to be a log jam, and then the next thing you know, people are just going to drive in. Because we have a lot of guys who the Cup and O'Reilly guys aren't going down for it. I mean, it's got Dario Franchitti in the field. That's going to be cool to see him, back. But you're probably going to have a lot of road course specialists there. So it's going to be interesting to see like how that race pans out, but definitely going to be cool to see that and what that market has to offer. Hopefully the people down in St. Petersburg enjoy some third tier NASCAR truck series racing, and it's either going to be one or two things. It's going to be a demo derby, or it's going to be just single file and the leader's going to check out and lead every lap. I don't even know if they're doing competitive pit stops. So that's the thing where the leader can lead every lap of the race, and who knows? But it's just a cool opportunity for NASCAR to kind of dip its toes to see maybe, hey, we can get the Cup guys down here, because clearly they're on that street race where they've done Chicago, now San Diego, so you can move them around. Now we look at the O'Reilly and the Cup, and we have COTA, Circuit of the Americas. And one thing to remember, like last year, it's a shortened circuit. They're not running the full circuit. And I felt like last year's race was fantastic. I mean, Kyle Busch, Christopher Bell battling it towards the end, had a chance to win. SVG, Tyler Reddick were up there. SVG had a slow stop, and it kind of took him out of contention. I mean, everybody's in on SVG to win. I mean, I don't want to be, so ambitious to say, but Tyler Reddick has won there in 2023. He could very well win 3 races in a row here. Wouldn't that be incredible? I mean, that'd be something. The team that sues NASCAR comes out and sweeps the first 3 races. I mean, that would be something. But, you have Tyler Reddick, you have SVG, you have, Kyle Busch did well last year. He does, Alex Bowman, Christopher Bell, obviously, Ross Chastain, who's won there in the past. And then you got AJ Allmendinger, Chase Elliott. My gosh, this is a race that can turn into a barn burner. And then don't forget about Connor Zilisch. Last year he ran this race, his first Cup start, I believe. Crashed out early, so didn't have an opportunity to show all his stuff. So now that he's in a full-time ride with a full-time team, and, has SVG as his teammate, and was able to learn from him for the offseason, I wouldn't be surprised Connor Zilisch goes out and wins his first Cup Series race. But that turn 1 at COTA, if there's a late restart, I do not want to be the leader. I want to be in 3rd or 5th, because there's going to be dive bomb central. There's going to be carnage at the end of this race. It's bound to happen because of turn 1 at COTA. It's a 90-degree angle. Actually, it's like a kind of a, I don't even know how to describe it, but you know what I mean. But yeah, it's gonna be exciting to see COTA and how it shakes out. So let me know down below who you think has a shot to win, because I think it's wide open. Even the Spire guys. I don't think of Hocevar as a road course guy, but you have Michael McDowell, who's a decent road course driver, has won a race in the next gen COTA road course. Daniel Suarez, like I said, all the guys that I just named. Allmendinger. It is wide open for COTA, so I am excited about some road course racing. This is probably the most excited I've been for a road course race since the 2018 Charlotte Roval. Can't even forget Chris Buescher, too. Chris Buescher's won a road course race in the next-gen car. So there's plenty of opportunity for something to happen in the O'Reilly and Cup. O'Reilly... I don't know who you could give O'Reilly to. That's kind of going to be wide open. If there's some Cup guys in the field, I don't know. I would still give it to maybe. So I'll tell you what. If Austin Green is running COTA, I kind of am curious to see how he runs, because the last few road course races, and COTA in particular, I think he's finished inside the top 10. And he's a road course guy. I like watching Austin Green race. He's interesting to me. I wish that, I forget if he's running full-time this year or not, but I would expect him to be in that race. But let me know down below who you think's going to win the truck race, who you think's going to win the O'Reilly, and who you think's going to win the Cup. And that should wrap up episode number 1 of Dropping the Hammer Unfiltered. I appreciate you guys for watching and listening. Hopefully, I was entertaining enough for you guys. As we move forward to next week's episode, we'll kind of wrap up what happened at COTA, and then we'll look ahead to the following weekend. I think then it would be the West Coast Swing, so we get to go to Phoenix and Vegas and Auto Club. Never mind, I'm making a joke, obviously. RIP Auto Club. Oh, man, that track with the next-gen car. Steve Phelps, you crooked bastard. How can you take that from us for land development? But yeah, let me know down below what you guys think, what your thoughts are. I appreciate all you guys watching, and I will see you guys in the next episode.